Thanks, Servin. All right, so we're going fairly well today. We have a number of internet exchange point stakeholders in the room. Just want to hand over to Nico, and let's do a little impromptu session and get some information, I think, which will be useful to all of us about what's happening actually at the exchanges with the exchange point operators.
So we have like 10, 15 minutes before the coffee break. We requested the coffee break to be a few minutes earlier, but let's use those 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'll be walking around to certain of you, from which I do know that you're thinking, strategizing on deploying an internet exchange, or you already have an internet exchange. So it could be a little surprise, but be prepared. Eldert, you're going to be the first one. Jay, I'll walk over to you in a moment. You can prepare, share with us the Suriname ideas of deploying an internet exchange. So, Eldert, to the mic, see if you can share with us about the Open Caribbean Internet Exchange.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Alfred Louisa. I'm original from Curacao. I live already for almost 20 years in St. Maarten. We also have an internet exchange. We also have an internet exchange in St. Maarten. I remember when we started, myself and Nico was trying to see who can win the race and have the best internet exchange in the Netherlands, at least, now the Dutch Caribbean. Basically, I can say that since we have the internet exchange, we have seen much improvement on the internet. And for the ones that knows, St. Maarten is very tourist oriented. We're getting almost 3 million tourists a year. And then when they visit, they want to see the internet as back home. And it is very expensive to buy the internet transit. And one way was for us to establish the internet exchange to make the internet more doable. We have seen since we have the internet exchange that our traffic is increasing almost double every year. Right now we have almost 2 gig of worth of traffic running on the internet exchange with peak up to 4 gig. And most of the traffic is from all the contacts provided that was already mentioned, which is Google, Facebook, not Facebook, we have Akamai, we have Google, we have a root server, and we are busy trying to see how we can get Netflix for the last 2-3 years. Hopefully in a couple of months we will have also Netflix on the internet exchange. I will encourage all the small islands to continue to proceed to see how we can have an internet exchange, because it only will make the internet better for the Caribbean. And you will see the traffic grow immediately the minute you have your internet exchange. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will continue to Jay. If you could share with us your name and this camera and the plans of Suriname.
Thank you, Nico. My name is Jai Udit, and I'm from the Telecommunication Regulatory Authority of Suriname. I would also like to share that Nico was involved in the research we did back in 2009 to establish an IXP in Suriname. But in 2012, we picked up this project and we looked all the possibilities to establish the IXP. But due to certain circumstances, it was not a success. But this year, one of the major things that we see in the Caribbean that you should have political support. And this year, I can say that we have the political support to do this. One of the issues that we have in Suriname is the international connectivity. there's just one international operator, so the cost is very expensive. What we believe is if we have more than one ISP, and I should mention that Suriname just have 2 ISPs, and actually one because the second one goes through the infrastructure of the dominant ISP. And last year, we issued 3 ISP licenses. And what we want to do is to have all these ISP connect to the IXP, and thereby they will generate more traffic. And if you have more traffic, we can actually have a better price for the international connectivity. And in that way, we think the price will also go down, and also for the end user, because that is, we as a regulator, we are looking at the end user, that the internet should be affordable and accessible. Until now, we see that the dominant ISP is not capable of actually provide the internet penetration we need. So by giving out of issuing license to ISPs, to other ISP, they will be able to generate more internet connection and thereby have a better internet penetration. So I would like to thank you for that.
So as I don't know all the faces and the names as yet, Bevel is going to help me out here.
Yeah, I want to invite Roxanne John from St. Vincent and the Grenadines to just share on what's happening with the St. Vincent Exchange. It launched earlier this year, and she has been very much involved in the process. So, Roxanne. Right, so this would be another example of a small island state internet exchange point, interesting marketing conditions.
Okay, Roxanne John here, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have launched the IXP in January with interesting digital cable and wireless, well, Lime at the time, and Flow. Successfully we did, but we have an issue with the signing of the agreements and the memorandum of understanding. At the time we were expecting them to sign. We are working closely with the National Telecommunication Commission, NTRC, on it. They seem to have some issues, a couple of clauses, so they are seeking their advice from the lawyers. And in recent time, the NTRC has been reminding them to send in their comments and to come to an agreement. So that is where we are in terms of not having a signed agreement. But there is some commitment on their part because we are renting this place where it is their expense being held and they are paying for it. So there is some commitment there, but in terms of the traffic, one of them, they are not exchanging the traffic as yet because of not having a signed agreement. But we are still proceeding. We have established a working committee where I'm chairing, at least for the moment, and to get the agreement signed, to see how we can generate traffic, local traffic, and to really have some network presence. And also to really create that awareness among the community of the importance of the IXP and to work along with our regional colleagues in getting the news, because we have invested a lot in the IXP. And there are interests, but we need to generate more interest, and we need to see the benefit of the IXP. So we are working with Beville and Shannon on it, Internet Society really, to make sure that we have that technical guidance and support, because we still have some issues that we need to sort out. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of this parent forum, because I'm learning a lot. And I like how the presentations are very short, and they're room for networking. So we can meet each other and we can see how we can help each other in advancing really this cost and investment in basically in the Internet Society of the Caribbean. Thank you.
Excellent. I'm glad you could have made it out, Roxanne. Next up, we have Mr. Errol Cattouse from Belize, no? And Errol, again, this was one of the more recent internet exchange points, and he will tell us what Belize has and what they're planning for Belize.
And good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here. I'm from Belize, Errol Cattouse. Recently launched IXP. We're up and running now. We have 2 people pairing on IXP with another 7 people ready to pair in the next couple of weeks, we're hoping. I'm very excited to be here. Thanks to Nico. He invited me when we were in Cuba, LACNIC 25 was it? So I've been going to these forums for the past few years, trying to acquire as much information about IXPs and how the internet functions. These are great opportunities for small companies and small countries like Belize. We're a little larger than Curacao, so I'm very, very jealous on what Nico has been able to accomplish here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And there's a lot of that in this world, potential, especially in Belize. So once again, very, very pleased to be here. And I'm hoping to sit down with all the big guys, Google, Akamai, Microsoft, trying to find out on how to grow our IXP. All I've been hearing is services, 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 services. It was very enlightening to see the presentation yesterday about a local app that was developed here in Curacao, thanks to the IXPs that are here now. And we're hoping to do the same in Belize. Trying to encourage people in Belize. The PUC has been very helpful, our Public Utilities Commission. And they have been setting up forums and different training exercises for people to start developing apps. So we've done 2 of them, I believe. And some very interesting apps have come out from some very young people in Belize. So once again, thank you for the opportunity, and thanks.
Anyone else who is volunteering?
Yes, we have.
There we go.
Lendon is from Grenada. GREX was actually one of the first IXPs in the English-speaking Caribbean. And so let's hear where things are with GREX.
Hi, good morning to everybody. I'm really happy to be here. I'm Lendon Telesford from the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, Grenada. And we basically serve as the host to the IXP. I know Bevel would have been pretty much involved in the initial setting up of the IXP, which was in 2011. Currently, we have a unique situation in terms of the participants at the IXP. Until recent, there were 2 members pairing, Lime Cable and Wireless and Columbus Communications. They've been paired since 2012, I believe, but due to recent acquisition from Liberty Global, they're basically one company. So now it's basically one person at the IXP, which is pretty interesting. However, there has been communication with Digicel, and they should be pairing at the IXP within the next few months. I think it's just at the stage where they're examining the MOU before signing. For Grenada, the next step really, as we all can acknowledge, is the IXP is one component, yeah? But the end goal is really to help to develop the internet economy for Grenada. And so the NTRC has taken the position where we, through the assistance from the CASEP project, we're beginning to provision facilities to encourage hosting services so that local developers have a local avenue to start producing content so that the population would better benefit from the IXP being on the island. In Grenada, I think one of the bigger challenges when dealing with the IXP is advocating and educating the public as to what the true benefits of the IXP are. So at the NCRC, we have taken the position to do that. So within the next few months, we hope to have services provision so that developers can exploit their creative side and have somewhere local to host their products to help increase traffic locally. That's where we are now. Thank you.
Thank you. Last up, I want to invite BVI. Telesford, want to just come and share, or Guy, you can, or both of you, share. BVI is in an interesting position. They were the second in the English-speaking Caribbean to get an IX up and running, and they're now actually at the point where they're considering what we can call BVI IX Phase 2. Yeah? So let's get some insight into what's happening in the BVI.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alfred Parsons from the Telecoms Regulatory Commission in the BVI. Like Bevel indicated, we got started, I think it was shortly after St. Maarten did, back in 2011, 2012. We were able to get through legislation, I think what my good friend over there is doing right now, get two operators who were active in the market at the time to sign on to the MOU to participate in the IXP. Successful in getting that done. But however, over the years, things have gotten dormant. And needless to say, we haven't progressed very far in really delivering the promises of what the IXP was, the assurance we gave to the local market that the benefits it would bring. So we are engaging in what we would call Phase 2 now, getting the local ISPs to come back to the table to basically resurrect the service. We now have a third player in the market, and we will be working with them to sign on to the MOU to fully participate in the activity. We would like to engage in some discussions with the Googles and the Akamais to really bring some content to enhance the benefits that will be derived from using the IXP, and we hope that in itself will help to create that internet economy, improve the internet economy, not only in the Virgin Islands, but throughout the Caribbean. So wish us luck. We're pushing forward with Phase 2 of IXP and the BVI.
Thank you. Any questions for any of the IXPs? Or any general comments from, I know we have some providers here.
I have a question for Arturo.
Sure.
From the Barbados. A question that I didn't get to ask Arturo. It's basically what is required in terms of bandwidth for a cache?
It depends. Depending on the place, in some cases we need much more, but in general, at least 1 gig of traffic is what we need. But in places, for example, where we have a metro, a POP, we will request 10, 15, 20, because we already have a metro, for example. And in some other places, if there is an internet change point and there are 3 or 4 ISPs, like they are going to share a cache, it could be less, a bit less than 1 gig. But the rule is normally the rule is 1 gig, but it depends on the place. So it's not like always the same. It could be more or less, a bit less.
Thank you.
I got one. Hi guys, I'm Niels from UTS Curacao. I see there's a lot of planning. Everybody's trying to have an ISP on their own separate island. But if I hear from Google and Akamai and everybody talking that that creates sparse traffic from the Caribbean. So I don't see if all the ISPs have a plan to interconnect all the ISPs on the island to where we can create one point to where Google can get up and connect and actually put a POP in our region instead of cache here, cache there, cache there, and all the ISPs that we're trying to build. So to basically the Caribbean islands need to start working together.
Well, yes, no argument over Caribbean islands needing to start working together, but IXPs don't interconnect. ISPs in IXPs are the ones who connect. So what is happening now is exactly what should be happening, and that is the proliferation of exchange points in local markets, which bring those local benefits. Remember, what also happens as more countries establish exchange points is you have more routing options for Caribbean internet traffic, and that too is a good thing. What you're getting at is essentially what Miami has evolved into, which is a de facto regional type hub for traffic. Those are not built, they evolve. And so what you have a case of is a very real possibility of one of the Caribbean exchanges being built and managed in such a way that it attracts certain facilities around it and an ecosystem around it that creates that kind of scenario. But you don't go about building, let's say, a Caribbean exchange point. You with me?
Well, my goal is to basically, we need to find one point of interconnect to where all the traffic from the Caribbean, it creates a hole or it creates a lot of traffic in order for a Google or somebody like a Facebook to have a pop here, not cache. That's what they were saying.
Eldert.
Yes, good morning again. For instance, I'm going to give you an example from St. Maarten. In St. Maarten, we are connected with UTS. We connected with the French territory on the exchange. Like Bervelia said, you don't see exchanges interconnecting. Even we had thought maybe we should start doing that, but normally you don't do that. But you see through the ISP, you create that synergy and the traffic path so you can improve the internet. Because of the Caribbean is so dispersed, the only way we can do it is to create more exchanges in the islands, and then through the ISP, improve the internet. Because the IP trans is still expensive for you to have one central location with the internet. As we grow in, you will see that maybe it can become that we will have one big internet exchange in the Caribbean where everybody can come. But right now it's too expensive still.
Yesterday we spoke about bringing down the price of international transit as well. Yeah.
Well, when you discuss price, I think, like I said, if we work together, the pricing can be discussed to where it's lucrative because we all benefit at the end. But yeah, it's harder, it's easier said than done, but if we don't start, we're never going to get there.
Right. No, and I agreed again, but remember, we have started. And this forum is part of that movement toward a place of greater conversation, collaboration, and actual agreements between service providers and content providers across the region. That's why we're here. And that's what we want to see coming out of the discussions and the meetings and the introductions that are taking place here. You would have noticed from some of the other Caribbean territories that have exchange points that the regulator is very heavily involved. And that's because there are certain dysfunctionalities in the marketplace that still have to be addressed before you get the ISPs coming to the table. And we're hoping and pushing and actually doing stuff to make sure that they too see the benefit of creating more opportunities on a regional level for us. Right? Has this session this morning been good? Yeah? Last comment, Arturo? Let's get a mic to you. Go comments, and then come up. Yeah, let him come up.
What you said, that there are some dysfunctional markets. I don't know what is worse, a dysfunctional market or a dysfunctional internet change point. I have seen some cases where the ISP, the internet change point, it don't get any traffic, and they are very, very small and they don't grow. And when you look at it, you see that, for example, there are only the 2 or 3 big ISPs in the island, and these are like a private club. So, yeah, they are not going to grow. If you don't add content there, you don't let add, for example, universities, enterprises, startups to interconnect to the internet change point, yeah, they won't grow, and you are not solving any problem. You are just making another one, because you are going, yeah, we have an internet change point, but yeah, it doesn't work at all.
Correct.
So one of my recommendation is like, yeah, don't just create internet exchange point for the sake of create an internet exchange point. Do it because there is a need, and also address all the issues that are there. Because also another problem is that besides it's a private club, it's in a very bad place where the fiber is very expensive. So yeah, nobody's gonna go there because it's in the basement of this office of the government. So they are not gonna be there. You need a place where it's a good private facility. That's why it's sorry to take again the Curacao internet changes, not because Nico is here, but yeah, it's in a good facility. It has a lot of fiber, so it's relatively easy for the ISPs to go there because it's cheap. So they have to take in account that the internet change point this is basically for the people that is here trying to deploy an internet change point. Make it open, like it is just for. We know the ISPs. It's not going to work. So what we need is is very open. Also, it's going to be a problematic for the ISPs because they are going to say, yeah, well, I'm trying to sell the bits to this other one. But yeah, but it's something that they have to take in account, that they need to let universities and other content providers to connect to the internet change point. If not, it's not going to work at all. And there is no surprise that there are some cases that are not
And one of the things that we've been doing is actually defining success metrics for exchange points. A common denominator in the successful exchange points is the presence of a dedicated peering coordinator. Someone who, outside of the narrow focus of the ISPs, is looking after the growth and development of the internet exchange point and of content in the territory. That is a critical success factor in attracting and retaining content providers beyond the usual suspects.
So my recommendation will be make it open and in a good place, in a place with a lot of cheap transport, connectivity options. Yeah. And then you will have an internet exchange point that is successful. Yeah. And if you don't have that, that's why your internet exchange point is not that good.
Right, so simple, solid advice from Arturo on what it takes to get an exchange point up and running, but to have it continuing to run after launch. All right, so this has been session 1, day 2, Carpif. We now break for coffee, and we resume, I think, in half an hour time.